Welcome to Yoga Biz Studio. This is episode 41. This is a bi-weekly broadcast of 10 to 30 minutes in length, hosted by me, Carla Wilson, owner of Wilson Media Services, and also by my colleague,
Keely Mitchell of Z Living.
And each week, we like to present topics to you on legal, business, and marketing insights to help you run a more streamlined business for yoga studio owners and independent yoga teachers. We use Google Plus Hangouts on Air to produce our show. So you might be watching this show via Google or YouTube, or maybe even our website at yogabizstudio.com. However you're watching your show, however you are watching our show, we thank you. If you are watching the show via our website or YouTube, you may want to click on the little yellow graphic at the bottom of the video player. That will navigate you over to a Google page that will include the video player, but as well will include a Q&A panel where you can ask Keely and I questions or comment on our discussion today. So I wanted to encourage you to do that because we love interaction from our audience. I'm really excited about today's topic. I will share with you, when Keely and I have a little bit of a script writing session before we have a show, and sometimes we're like, oh, what are we going to talk about on the next episode? I'm not so sure. And this week, we just kind of threw it out there. We said, what if we were to suggest to people that the lessons that they are teaching to yoga students on the mat, could they then use those same concepts to help them run their business? And as we're writing the script, we realized that this is a really awesome topic, right, Keely?
Awesome. Yeah, we were we were just typing away, and we could probably do a part two.
I believe so. I think you're right.
So, but first I have to say, I can't believe it's episode 41. So, I don't know, should we be like the networks? When we hit the 50th episode, we do a celebration, advertise 50th episode of Yoga Biz Studio.
Yeah, how about it? We should figure out what to do, right?
I know, exactly. So I'm psyched about that. And then, of course, I am truly, truly excited about this topic. I love it. Often our practice of yoga is seen separate from our yoga business. And I want to even clarify, because we said this right before we got started today, Carla, this topic is really geared towards anyone. It doesn't have to be a yoga instructor or a yoga studio owner. It could be anyone who has their own business or people who actually work within other businesses. It's just, how do you take the lessons that we get from the mat and apply it into our business lives? So, it's so entwined. The two are more entwined than we think, which I think is awesome. And many of the lessons that we take from our practice are applicable to running any successful business. So I love this topic, if you can't tell. It's a great topic.
Exactly. Yes, you can tell that we're both a little bit jazzed about this. So often small business owners in general are looking for direction in running their businesses, and we as yoga professionals forget that these concepts that we're teaching to students, these are things we could be using ourselves. And so let's jump right in and let's talk about let's have a little discussion about the concepts we feel are good for helping you run your business. So what is the first lesson you would suggest, Keely?
So the first lesson I think is applicable to running a business is setting intentions. In our practice, we set intentions. I prefer to start my day with a yoga practice, and during my practice, I will set my intentions for the day. The same can be done with your business. At the beginning of the day, ask yourself, what intentions do you want to set for your business? Take a moment to really focus on these intentions. And then it doesn't even have to be on a daily basis. You can go larger scale. Maybe once a month, you should be setting intentions on how to grow and develop your business, thinking about where do you want to see your yoga business in 3 years from now, or even 5 years from now. So the first one is setting your intentions, which is, my little secret word for, having a plan, where we all say, yes, we should live in the moment, but we should kind of have like a little bit of guidance of what direction we're moving in.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Setting intentions for your business is so important. It's really, like you said, it's kind of like having a plan. I look at setting intentions almost as a simple way to set some goals. So if you want to take pressure off yourself, just kind of think about it. Setting intentions are just a really other way of setting goals for your business. So, make it easy on yourself, but then you can give yourself a guide at the same time.
Exactly.
The lesson I would like to suggest is to let go of your ego. I'm sure if you're a yoga teacher, you have suggested this to your students as they come onto their mats. I think as business owners, if we were to do the same thing, running and marketing a business wouldn't feel so icky, I guess, in certain words, in certain terms. Letting go of ego will help you focus on what sets you and your studio apart from other studios. It'll help you describe the benefits that your studio offers, and it'll help you set and reach realistic goals. So letting go of ego will help you in running your business.
Carla, thank you so much for bringing up the ego. I think the ego causes a lot of problems sometimes. So letting it go is so, so important. Along those same lines, do not view other yoga businesses or instructors as competition that you must battle against. And like I said, this can go out to anyone. So but your competitors, don't always view them as like this huge battle that you have against, competitors and competition. Just as everyone has their own yoga practice, and we should not compare ourselves to the person next to us on the mat, everyone has their own business journey. Try not to envy those who seem to have everything that you desire. Don't try to copy another style. Like, embrace your own uniqueness and don't compare. You could be missing out on great business opportunities while you're busy watching what you believe is a competitive threat. I suggest making friends, creating an amazing yoga or business community and celebrating the practice of yoga.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another lesson I would like to suggest is meditation. I follow a lot of online business coaches and, authors and speakers out there. And a lot of people look to them for guidance, and a lot of these folks are touting meditation as this new wave thing that you can do every morning. Newsflash.
It's not new.
Meditation's been around for thousands of years, probably as long or longer than yoga. So you go back to that, use that as a tool for you. I spend 15 minutes each day just sitting, and the guided meditation that I use as a teacher of mine, love her dearly, love you, Colleen. And one of the things she says is a meditation practice will help us remember that it's okay to begin again. It's okay if you get distracted. It's okay if you move away from, if you get distracted, but you can always come back. You can always come back and start again. So I just think that's a great reminder. So if we were able to follow our own advice and meditate daily, think about how focused and calm we will be as business owners.
Great advice, Carla. Really, really good advice. I always tell, I teach and I tell my students, like, breathe, like, take a moment and just breathe and focus and calm yourself. So great advice. Now, here comes my legal advice. Yes, everyone has heard right. Legal advice taken from the practice of yoga. Yep. When dealing with legal issues, often people become anxiety-ridden, nervous, nauseous, however you want to describe it. So I always say, if you're in that state of mind, never make a decision from that place of stress or fright. When faced with making a legal decision, remember to breathe. If you feel anxiety coming on, take a moment and step back and remember your breath. I would recommend even doing some postures to get the blood and the oxygen flowing to the brain. Trust me, once you calm down and remember your breath, you will be able to truly look at the situation, the facts, information, or whatever the case may be, and make a decision from a place of peace and harmony. Believe me when I say I am constantly telling my clients to breathe. And many of them are yoga instructors, which is really ironic that I'm telling them to remember their breath. So that is my, well, directly wasn't legal advice, but that was my little legal thing. Like when you get in that position, you start getting nervous, just breathe, relax, and take each component as it comes, and it will get a lot easier for you to deal with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That reminder to breathe is so important. You know, sometimes we're our own worst enemy and we just forget. So it's a great reminder. Each of us outside of our businesses and in regular life, our breath can really help guide us. But and along those same lines, what the last lesson that I would like to suggest is settling in. You know, set your intentions, breathe, let go of ego. Don't compare yourself to other teachers or studios, and then settle in to what is. It's in those moments when we settle in that we find the answers, right? So, you know, it's the same advice that we give to our students on the mat. Just settle in and let it be, let what is be.
I love that. Love that. Settling in is so important. Okay, so Carla said the last lesson, but of course I have a bonus lesson, which is kind of quite obvious when you think about it. Practice. Remember, we must practice, practice, practice if we want to get better at something. Some days will be really easy, while other days will be extremely hard, just like when we are on our mat. But what do we always say? Just keep showing up to your mat and do your best. The same is with your business. Stay dedicated and committed, and you will get there. The universe will take care of it.
Excellent. So we hope you enjoyed our discussion this morning as much as we did, and maybe you have more to add. We would love to hear from you. So feel free to comment on our blog at Yoga Biz Studio, or reach out on social channels of Facebook, Twitter, or Google+, finding us at Yoga Biz Studio. Please feel free to reach out to us via email, yogabizstudio@gmail.com, if you might have comments, suggestions, or maybe some show topics you would like us to cover. We would love to have your input. And again, our website is yogabizstudio.com. So we hope you join us for our next episode, which will be on Thursday, June 18th at 10 a.m.
Thanks, Carla, and thank you, our audience, for joining us today. Our Yoga Biz Studio show is brought to you bi-weekly, by me, Keely Mitchell of Z Living, and Carla Wilson of Wilson Media Services. Until our next episode, namaste.
Namaste, everyone.